living in Canada and this area in the last couple of weeks, there's a high probability of slipping and falling on icy surfaces in the winter. And here to walk us through the legal side of slip and falls is Nainesh Kotak from Kotak Law. What should you do if you fall and hurt yourself on a sidewalk?
Right, so I've got really sort of 5 pointers as sometimes we see these mistakes that people make. Number one is get medical attention, obviously, for obvious reasons, if you're hurt. But secondly, sometimes people are embarrassed when they fall. They think, okay, it'll go away, I just leave. And, that shoulder continues to hurt and gets worse and worse. And a few months later, they get a scan and it turns out there's a tear. Well, if too much time has passed, it's an issue of causation. And the insurance company for, the homeowner or whoever was responsible, we may argue that, look, this is not connected to your fall. You didn't seek medical attention. So that's one. Secondly, I think, if you're able to yourself, because often it's the he said, she said, what was the condition on the ground? If you can get pictures, or if you may not be able to, but get a friend or someone to go and take pictures of the hazard that was there that caused you to fall. Another one, interesting, it's very, very interesting. Sometimes people forget where they fell. Okay, so you may have a townhouse complex with multiple units or a commercial sort of area with different owners, and if you don't know where you fell, it's going to be difficult in naming the right people to sue, and you may not be able to collect. The next thing, really key important, is limitation periods, and we have a number of those. So if it's a municipality, for example, their sidewalk or roadway, you've got 10 days to put them on notice. And for any other potential defendant, it's 60 days to put them on notice, and there's a 2-year limitation period to sue. So obviously, it's a little complicated, and I would suggest, if you are significantly hurt, get the advice of a lawyer who could guide you in that process.
Now, I was just in Waterford a couple of weekends ago. People were complaining about the sidewalks being snow-covered and icy, and they were. The sidewalks were like skating rinks. Whose responsibility is it to clean those?
Right, so if it's a municipal sidewalk, it would be the city, and sometimes they hire an independent contractor, a third-party contractor, so it may also be their responsibility. The thing about the city, these claims are often difficult because you need to prove what's called gross negligence, which is, as opposed to plain and simple negligence, it's more of a recklessness, and they're much more difficult to prove, but it can be done, with the right evidence on it, right? And I think the different standard of care is there because ultimately it may be taxpayers' money that's going out to pay the claim. So municipalities, the idea is to protect them from large payouts.
And there are something like 9,000 hospitalizations every year from slipping and fall. So it does happen quite regularly. And again, once it happens, the main things you should do.
Yeah, get medical attention, look at the scene, get pictures if you can, watch your limitation periods, get legal advice, and a little bit of advice for the homeowner as well. Make sure if you have tenants that you let your insurance company know so you don't have any voiding of coverage. And a good idea is, look, if you're a tenant, get some insurance as well, liability insurance, and also for your own personal belongings. If you're a landlord who's sort of absent and is not there, make sure it's in your lease that, if the tenant is supposed to be cleaning the snow, make sure you put that in the lease and make sure the tenant has insurance as well.
All right, 20 seconds left. Where can people find this information on your site?
Right, so our firm can be reached at kotaklaw.com. We operate throughout the country and love representing clients in the Hamilton area.
All right, Nainesh, thank you very much for your time. There's plenty more Morning Live coming your way.